What's up, trainers, and welcome to Trainer Loadout, the podcast where we break down the art of team building and deep dive into strategies for the Gen 3 Battle Frontier. In this episode, we dive deep into a trainer's team that abuses the Sandstorm weather mechanic. So without further ado, let's dive into the team, the Pokemon, and the thoughts behind the strategy and implementation.
Yeah, hi, I'm Zach. I've been commenting on the YouTube videos and live streams as Zachary Patterson. I don't have much social media, it's just not been my thing, but I've loved Pokemon ever since I was a kid. I remember right after Ruby and Sapphire came out, my parents took my brother and I to a Toys R Us and they got us matching Game Boys and Ruby and Sapphire, Ruby for me, Sapphire for my brother, and I have been in love with the Gen 3 games ever since. And then as I've gotten back into them in the last year or so, I stumbled across your content and it has really lit a fire under me to start trying to create unique teams and combinations and just think about the game in a different way than I ever have. I've got this sand team that I've been working on. I was inspired actually when you made your special attack Aggron and you were talking about how Swampert is a really terrible matchup for that. And I was like, oh, like using Sunny Day would be a really good counterpart for your team. It would make Swampert weaker, make your Solar Beam a one-turn move, boost your fire attack damage. And I was like, oh, I'd like to make a weather team. And the only Pokemon that sets weather when it enters that is legal in the Battle Frontier is Tyranitar. And so I was like, you know what? I'm going to make a sand team with this Tyranitar, Cacturne, and Flygon.
So is that the original inspiration? That's kind of where you came up with the idea for the team?
Yeah, it started out, I was thinking, like, how could I make a Sunny Day team? Maybe I would, like, try to kind of emulate your special attack Aggron and do that with, like, a Sun team. And then I was like, well, I kind of want something that just sets the weather when it enters. And so Tyranitar was the only option. I was like, you know what? I think a sand team is off the wall enough that it's creative, it's cool, but it has a lot of potential.
Yeah, absolutely. I guess we could get into the team. Is there anything though you want to chat about, like before we dive into the team? Like,
Not that I can think of. I just honestly, I'm really excited to get into the team.
All right, let's get into it. Usually, I know some people, sometimes introductions are a lot longer, but I'm excited to get into this team too. I've been waiting all week. Okay, so I guess from a high level, just give us the three Pokemon, the moves, items, and like just generally, like I guess how you train the Pokemon. Don't go too into detail, like IVs, EVs. We'll get to that after. I just want to give everybody like a high level, like what are the Pokemon?
Yeah, absolutely. So I started the team around Tyranitar so I could get that Sands set up. I wanted him to be a fast physical attacker. I gave him the choice band since I just wanted to do as much damage with Tyranitar as I could. And then I thought Cacturne would be an interesting addition because it has the sand availability, so it has that extra staying power with moves missing. It's a special attacker with like a lot of HP, so it's bulky. It's got Leech Seed, and then Flygon is a fast special attacker. And I was just trying to round it out because I wanted something faster because Cacturne's really slow and Tyranitar, even at its fastest, isn't the most fast Pokemon. But with Tyranitar, I started out with Earthquake, Rock Slide, Brick Break, and Hyper Beam. And Hyper Beam was kind of a placeholder move because I just hadn't had a Aerial Ace TM to teach it. And then Cacturne's got Sandstorm, Leech Seed, Thunder Punch, and Needle Arm. And then Flygon has got, it is showing Sandstorm, but I've actually just changed Sandstorm to Giga Drain. It also has Crunch, Dragon Claw, and Flamethrower. So Tyranitar and Flygon are there to do all the damage, and Cacturne I kind of swap into to eat up some attacks because it has some good matchups like versus water types Pokemon and so on. So that's kind of how I structured the team. Also, Cacturne has the leftovers because I wanted him to be bulky, and Flygon I gave the King's Rock because I just wasn't sure what the best item was, and it's turned out that the King's Rock has been really good. He has gotten an immense amount of flinches from that. It has come in so clutch.
So I guess who- let's dive like a lot deeper into each individual Pokemon. Who do you want to start with? Maybe Tyranitar, just because it's kind of like foundation of the team. Is that fine?
With Tyranitar, yeah. So as I was breeding it, I actually, after like 15 eggs, I got a almost perfect Tyranitar. It's got 30 HP IVs. It is 28 attack, 28 defense, 28 special defense, 31 speed, and it's got 9 in special attack, but I don't use that, so it's
Mm-hmm.
totally fine.
Jeez, that's a good one.
Yeah, and so I trained it. It also has a jolly nature, so plus speed minus special attack. So I just wanted him to go super fast, which is part of why I put the choice band on him so that I could maximize the damage since I didn't have adamant nature to boost it even higher. And so then I did 252 in attack and speed IVs for him. So he outspeeds a surprising amount of Pokemon and just hits like an absolute truck. It's so nice to have him leading the team. Just sets up the sand, and if there's a bad matchup, he still does enough damage to like knock Pokemon low enough for whoever's in the back to kind of clean up. So it's worked out really, really well.
He's got 243 speed. That's pretty fast for that type of Pokemon.
Yeah, he outspeeds a surprising number of Pokemon. I'll send him out and think, there's no way I'm faster than this, like Blaziken or something,
Mhm.
and somehow I'll attack first and be like, how the heck did that happen? But sure, I'll take it.
The moves, so Earthquake, Rock Slide, Brick Break, and you have Hyper Beam, but I guess are you going to replace that with Aerial Ace, or did you already replace that?
Yeah, I actually just yesterday traded myself from my Ruby in Aerial Ace TM because Hyper Beam was just a placeholder. It was before I had the choice band, I was using Hyper Beam a lot just because it would hit the hardest as I was just trying to grind for the battle points. And so I was just trying to get through as many rounds as I could. But swapping it over to the Aerial Ace, I ran one try through the Battle Dome with it, and that Aerial Ace has made a huge difference
I would
over the Hyper
imagine.
Beam. Aerial Ace, funny enough, I didn't even use it because it always hits. It truly was. I just needed a better attack for dealing specifically with Machamp.
Just the Machamp.
It was Machamp, I think, was my single worst matchup, and
Hmm.
so Aerial Ace has helped so much with that.
I guess yeah. I mean, quickly looking over the team, yeah, Cacturne, it messes up Cacturne, and Flygon doesn't really have like an amazing way of dealing with it.
Yeah, Flygon just doesn't do enough damage because he's also not very bulky. So Flygon dies in 1 to 2 hits and cannot take out a Machamp in 1 to 2 hits.
Does the Tyranitar with Choice Band one shot the Machamp?
I think it depends on the build of the Machamp because I've seen it
Hmm.
one shot one of them, but not any of the others. I also don't remember if that one shot was a crit or not. But it does the times that it hasn't, it does like 80% damage, I think. It does a whole ton, and usually that's enough to have an opening for Flygon or Cacturne to finish it off and be able to get through whatever's left.
So the moves that you picked, I mean, I'd say they're pretty self-explanatory. Earthquake, Rock Slide, even like Brick Break, and Aerial Ace. But I mean, were there other moves you were considering on Tyranitar?
You know, I hadn't looked too in depth at the moves because when I was building it, I knew Earthquake, Rock Slide, and Brick Break were just going to be on there because I wanted Brick Break in case I faced another Tyranitar, so it's that 4 times
Hmm.
effective, so I can make sure I win those matchups. Earthquake and Rock Slide have a lot of coverage, and then that fourth move, I just had Hyper Beam because it was the strongest physical attack I had at that time. Aerial Ace is slotted in, and I haven't really thought of anything else for Tyranitar. I I just don't honestly know the matchups that he loses pretty bad.
Hmm.
So I don't know if changing the moves would make a huge difference on Tyranitar.
So you did say you were breeding for it, but I'm wondering why didn't you decide to go the Dragon Dancing route?
I really wanted to do the jolly nature, and because I wouldn't have this like high attack with the adamant nature, I figured that I would need the choice band to do the damage I wanted to do with him, so I couldn't do the dragon dance on that. Because if I'm using
Hmm.
choice band, I
Yeah,
would
makes
be locked
sense.
into dragon dance.
Yeah, I think that's at least more of like a setting up kind of Tyranitar. And this, you kind of just, yeah, it seemed like you just wanted to get in there and just slap someone in the
Y-
face. Don't waste no
yeah,
time.
the team really does just kind of bully its way through. Like with Flygon and Tyranitar, it's just all offense, and then Cacturne is there to kind of just be the stability in the back line and take a few hits and survive.
All right, speaking of Cacturne, let's transition to Cacturne and give us all the more details on this Pokemon.
Yeah, so I bred for a Cacturne with a modest nature, so it has the most special attack because I wanted to make sure that I could deal with like Swampert and Wishcash because I knew that they would be really rough against Tyranitar and Flygon, so I wanted to make sure I had them solved. It has max speed and special attack IVs, and then it has 25 in defense and special defense,
Mm,
and then it has 252 special attack EVs and 252 HP EVs because I wanted him to be able to at least take one or two hits. He can set up Leech Seed if it's a good matchup, and he has the leftovers, so he can just kind of stall out. And then Needle Arm and Thunder Punch cover a wide range of the bad matchups for the other two Pokemon. So he's kind of like the linchpin of the team. Needle Arm at 60 base power has surprised me with it will one shot every Swampert I've come across, and he's outsped every Swampert I've come across. So it's that yeah, they just are not a problem for this team. It's just so nice.
when I ran the like I ran some calcs, I think there's one Swampert that it doesn't kill, but it can.
Mm,
It's I think it kills all the other ones.
gotcha. I must not have encountered that one yet.
So why? I guess I get the point of leftovers with the leech seed, but I'm wondering why not bright powder in combination with the sand veil, just giving you like that huge additional evasiveness boost.
I actually hadn't even considered the bright powder. That might be interesting to try. I had only recently actually started doing runs through the Battle Frontier to get battle points, so I haven't had enough to get the bright powder yet. But it's definitely something I would like to try at some point if I kind of keep hitting a brick wall with this team, see if that might be able to change things up enough for it. Because having that double evasion boost would be
Hmm.
really, really nice.
How does this Cacturne? Have you gotten to a Suicune yet? Or like,
I haven't fought a Suicune yet.
I think,
I
but I like Kingdra. I'm trying to think of something. Even like, I guess, yeah, I guess Kingdra
you know
Swamp, or sorry, Kingdra Suicune.
Yeah, so Kingdra, I actually have fought the Kingdras that I've encountered with Tyranitar. My Tyranitar with Rock Slide will one shot them, at least the few that I've
Really?
battled. Yeah, it's been really nice because I've been actually kind of stressed. I was like, I don't know if I have what it takes to beat a Kingdra with how it's all set up, but Tyranitar handles the Kingdra. And then like Swampert and Wishcash both go down super easy against Cacturne with the Needle
Hmm.
Arm. Um, like Cacturne's bad matchups are like honestly don't really exist. I've only been one shotted maybe once, and usually that's not enough to get rid of him because if he survives one hit, he usually is able to take you out on the next turn.
I guess I gotta back up. Sorry. Is this for the
No, you're
battle
fine.
tower or the battle dome? Or are you
This is
talking?
for the Battle Dome.
Okay. So have you seen the Sandstorm helpful on Cacturne? I think didn't you mention you might have
Yeah,
replaced that move?
yeah, I had Sandstorm on both Cacturne and Flygon because I didn't know what to do with Flygon's move set. But I wanted to be able to, in case I didn't bring Tyranitar to a fight because it had too many bad matchups, that I'd be able to still set up the Sandstorm. And I've used it a handful of times on Cacturne. It sees most of its use against like Blissies and Wobbuffets when I just want to stall out turns and let it die to Leech Seed without attacking it. Um, So like the Sandstorm on Cacturne actually gets used quite a bit.
So I guess to me that's a little surprising, but also that makes more sense if you're in the battle dome. I can definitely see that.
Yeah, if I was on the battle tower, I probably wouldn't have Sandstorm on it, but in the dome, it's come in handy if I'm not bringing Tyranitar.
I can see the reason for Thunder Punch, like things like Gyarados and even just some other Pokemon, but wondering your thoughts on Feint Attack, having the Dark Stab, and the fact that Feint Attack never misses.
Yeah, if I did put Feint Attack on it, I would replace Sandstorm. Um, I have considered it, but for the most part, I feel like all of my each Pokemon's bad matchups are now that I have the Thunder Punch are equally like countered but by my other Pokemon. So I'm able to get swaps and like safely hit for huge amounts of damage on basically any matchup. And the Thunder Punch, I actually had Ingrain on it up until like a week ago, maybe. So I could just stall out even more with him and gain more health. But I was in the gold medal round of the Battle Dome, and I was 2 battles before Tucker for the gold fight, and I lost to a Gyarados that set up Dragon Dance and just swept my team.
Dude,
And I was like, I need something for that.
that Gyarados with the Dragon Dance is lethal. Like that is
Yeah.
so scary.
Yeah, so I as soon as I lost to that, I was like, can he learn Thunder Punch? Yes, he can. I'm getting that.
Have you thought about so this Cacturne seems like or is more of like a special attacking kind of version, and the one that I was thinking about, and I think someone else recommended too, was more of a like you set up substitute leech seed, and you just abuse
Right.
the fact that you have bright powder and the sandstorm up, and you could even maybe get some more double teams and things like that. I guess did you consider that type of Cacturne, or were you just like I'm just gonna use this because I just want to hit the problems that Tyranitar and Flygon have and just hit him really hard?
Yeah, my initial thought was to do that kind of bulky substitute stall build with I hadn't considered the bright powder, but like doing substitute and leech seed ingrain, just like really full bulk, put nothing into the attack and whatnot. And as I was going into like putting the team together, I was like, I don't know how well I'll do against Swampert or like water types in general. And I was like, will it do enough damage? And if they have the ice beam, will I even survive that? So I decided to just lean into making sure that he could deal with those really problematic matchups really well. So my initial idea was to do a more bulky stall type. And then I just ended up thinking that having that offense probably would come more in handy for my bad matchups.
The thing, I guess, what am I thinking about? Did you consider like for the moves? And I know like the Cacturne can learn. I guess any other moves you consider in Cacturne? I have some other ideas, but I'm just wondering before I put them in your head. Any other
Yeah,
moves?
Feint Attack was, I think, the only other one that I had really looked at. And since I'm in the dome, I keep the Sandstorm just in case I don't have Tyranitar and I want to set up Sand. But Feint Attack's kind of the only other one that I've really thought about.
All right, before we move on to Flygon, you want to say anything else specifically about Cacturne?
Uh, yeah, it has surprisingly, I think, been the best Pokemon on the team.
Really?
Like Tyranitar, I think, kills the most and the most effective. Like when a Tyranitar hits for super effective damage, it's just wiping everything out. But Cacturne is just consistent. Even in its bad matchups, it still's able to usually put in quite a fair bit of work. And it's saved me against like Wobbuffets because they don't do any damage. So being able to just put Leech Seed out and not attack it and not worry, and it just dies. It's great. And then it can outstall most Blissies because I can hit them for like with Needle Arm or Thunder Punch to do damage, and then they'll lose health to the Leech Seed, and I'll gain health and have the leftovers. So I can kind of outstall Toxic most of the time with Cacturne.
That's pretty awesome, actually. I guess,
Yeah,
yeah, did you consider Giga Drain instead of Needle Arm? What were your thoughts there?
I hadn't. I I just knew he learned Needle Arm and was like the only Pokemon that could, and I was like, it's kind of a cool
Kind of
move.
have to have
And
it.
And the fact that it flinches has come up more times than I would have expected. It's flinched quite a few times, and it's every time any of the Pokemon flinch, it's saved so many
It's
runs, and
insane.
so it's been so nice to have that added effect.
I think when I was making my Cacturne too, that's kind of where I was at. I was like, well, first of all, Needle Arm just belongs on Cacturne as opposed to Giga Drain. But thinking about it like strategically, like okay, you have Needle Arm, it does the same base power, 60. One like sucks the other Pokemon's life. The other one has a possibility to flinch. You already kind of have the Leech Seed, and you're you probably aren't tanky enough where that additional like health gained from the Giga Drain is probably worth it. But if you make that Pokemon flinch, that is like so much better. That's where my head was at
Yeah.
least.
Yeah, like the health gain from Giga Drain probably would be nice, but I think that every time that I've got a flinch, it has literally changed that game and like put me in an advantage state versus like if the Giga Drain, I don't know if that healing's going to heal enough to
Exactly.
make a difference.
The flinch is essentially like skipping a turn.
Yeah.
I think I had one more thing about Cacturne, but I don't remember. We'll get back to it. But
Yeah,
anyway, let's
that's
move to
fine.
Flygon. Flygon's so cool. And I love how all the Pokemon are like green. It's like the green
Yeah,
sand team.
that was not intentional, but I do enjoy how they're all green. Flygon, I also trained for Modest because I wanted it to hit as hard as it can, and because its special attack stat isn't super high compared to its physical attack, but its best physical attacking moves are the same as Tyranitar's, so I wanted to have different coverage. So I trained it with 252 special attack, 252 speed, so it can just go fast and hit as hard as it can. And I bred it to end up with 31 in special attack and speed IVs. And then the others are all kind of really low, but those were the two important ones. And I'd hatched like 150 eggs, and this was the best one
Jeez.
I got. So I was like, I'm just going to take it for
Yeah.
now.
Just take it.
Um, and so, yeah, I set him up with Crunch, Flamethrower, and Dragon Claw, and then just recently added Giga Drain, which I haven't had a chance to use on him, but figured having an extra coverage move instead of Sandstorm like I had it a few days ago would just be better because I had literally never used Sandstorm on him. And with the King's Rock and how fast it is, he is flinching really often. And that's really nice because he doesn't quite do enough damage to one shot most Pokemon unless it's like super effective, like, and not a bulky Pokemon. So, like, if I use Flamethrower on Breloom, it'll one-shot it, but Flamethrower won't one-shot, like, Executor, who's, like, usually a little bulky. But the flinch, it then usually just makes them skip a turn, and it kinda makes for free kills a lot, which has worked out really, really well.
Why? I'm curious. Flamethrower versus Fire Blast. What's your thoughts there?
I I just really hate moves that have a chance to miss.
Same.
I want to hit every turn, and so Fire Blast would definitely be better for the damage, but I feel like I just don't want to risk missing and then just lose a run on a
hmm
miss.
No, I agree. I'm just sometimes people they like that extra damage because it is a pretty good amount, but yeah, you can miss, and
Yeah,
you play enough
it's
games and you
a
will miss.
right. Like I've already had Rock Slide, which is 90% accurate, miss more times than I would like. So it's just like, I want as few moves that can miss is kind of my thinking on that.
Real quick, I do love this team like holistically. Like you get away from Flygon for a second. Like holistically, because Tyranitar's got something that can flinch. Every Pokemon's got something that can make you flinch. They're just like flinching in the Sandstorm. I don't know. It's like it's got cool like lore almost. I don't know if that makes sense, but
Yeah, I like the vibes of it because it's just we're gonna set up a harsh weather condition that
yeah,
your team can't handle, and I get some buffs in it, and then we're just gonna make you flinch over and over so you can't attack, and you're taking this damage from the sand. I like the vibe of it. It's just kind of like it's a bully team.
Mm-hmm. So I guess I forgot to ask, how'd you get the names for each of these? If you want to.
It's kind of related to the vibes. I really just named them after like adjectives that I felt like I could describe the Pokemon with. Like Tyranitar just is brutal strength, so it's brutality. Cacturne has the leech seed and leftovers. He can take a lot of hits. He's my bulkiest Pokemon, so he's got that resilience to him. And then Flygon, because it's fast and hits hard, it asserts its dominance and with the flinching and whatnot.
Oh, I love this. This team is so cool. Like, as like a sand ground Pokemon lover, it's so cool.
Yeah, I'm happy with how it turned out because my favorite Pokemon actually line up very similarly to yours. Like I love Steelix, Aggron,
Let's go.
Tyranitar. Like they're all my top Pokemon, and I'd like to make them work. And then I was like, with the weather, it's like, let's do something creative with just some cool Pokemon.
Mm-hmm. So you chose, I can see obviously Flygon, or sorry, Tyranitar and Cacturne with this type of build. So
Mhm.
I guess why'd you pick Flygon? Is it just because it kind of has that special, it has the wide variety of special attacking moves that Tyranitar and like Cacturne can't handle? Is that main reason?
Yeah, Flygon I picked kind of for two reasons. It was because it has that wide range of different types for special attacks that it could do, and I wanted to have a special attacker to match my physical attacker of Tyranitar. Didn't want to double up on the same side. And I also knew going in that Cacturne was going to be pretty slow, and even with the fastest Tyranitar, I knew there were going to be Pokemon that outspeed it. So Flygon kind of threaded the needle of being really fast and having the good special attacking moves to kind of complement what the rest of the team did. Because I was honestly just looking for a fast special attacker that I could use on a sand team, and Flygon kind of just fit the build the best.
Yeah. Like when I was building, not to deviate too far, but real quick, when I was building mine, I'm just like, how do I get Steelix in here? But like looking at it, it's just like I don't think we could fit Steelix in this type of team. It's just we need some. You need something fast. I think is
Yeah, that was my thing. It's like I need something fast just in case. I gotta have a speed advantage somewhere on the team.
I do have a lot of other random questions, but let's holistically break down the team. What are like let's say like maybe 3 to 5 Pokemon you see it and they either kill the run or they're just your team has difficult time handling it.
Yeah, Machamp, I'm pretty sure, is by far my worst matchup, even still with the aerial ace that I've recently put onto Tyranitar. Because there's a lot of Machamps that have like the Fire Punch, Ice Punch, so that can just totally
Right.
destroy Cacturne and Flygon, and then any fighting type move will just delete Tyranitar. Um, I used to have problems with Wobbuffet, but that was just because I didn't think about putting Cacturne out and stalling them.
That's how you have to kill that stupid thing.
Yeah. And then like slacking hasn't been like a huge problem, but it can survive one hit from Tyranitar, which is scary if it uses something strong. But usually, if they have the slacking, if I do enough damage to it, whatever Pokemon's in the back can handle that and then keep going forward. There's not a lot that I've seen and encountered where I'm like, oh, this run's dead. Um, Sceptile makes things really awkward because it's faster than my entire team, and my Flygon has like no bulk, so he can die in like one shot, sometimes two shot to Sceptile, and Sceptile can one shot Tyranitar, and then Cacturne just has nothing that can really do damage to Sceptile. So Sceptile's also a pretty bad matchup for my team. Sometimes I've been able to just kind of get lucky with Tyranitar, sending him out and then getting lucky and surviving a hit. Because if Tyranitar hits Sceptile, it'll go down in one. But it's just being able to survive that first hit is pretty hard because it outspeeds my whole team by a wide margin.
I kind of mentioned it before, but I want to get back to like just Suicune. Like when I was designing the team too, like I was looking at Suicune, I'm just like, that is lethal because like Suicune hits very hard. They like all have Surf and Ice Beam. So
Mhm.
against Tyranitar, definitely can do so much damage, and Ice Beam against Cacturne, and absolutely will one shot Flygon. So I'm like,
Yeah.
how do we? How what needs to get done to defeat Suicune? And I don't know if Cacturne is it, but I guess we'll obviously have to see like when I get there with my team. But that's why I was just asking so much about Suicune because I was so
Right.
paranoid about that because it just hits like a truck and it's so tanky.
Yeah, because I've done up to this point 301 fights in the Battle
Jeez.
Dome. And I haven't seen Suicune once. It hasn't even shown up on the enemy team, and they haven't brought it. Just haven't seen it at all, and I'm very happy that I haven't
Mm-hmm.
because I don't know how I would do against it. But since I don't know, I kind of just like
Yeah,
maybe I'd be okay, but I don't know.
I would not wish that upon this team.
Yeah, yeah, it's not fun, I imagine. So I'm gonna keep hoping to avoid it.
What about like Snorlax? Like, if you just gonna brick break that and try your best, or I guess
Yeah,
has that been giving you issues?
I haven't had any issues with Snorlax. All of the ones that I've fought I've either crit and one shot with Brick Break, or it does like 80% and like it'll use Curse and it'll still just die after the next hit, or it'll use like I've been hit by it was like it used a normal type move on Tyranitar, so it just didn't do a whole ton of damage since I resisted it. So Snorlax hasn't really been a problem at all. And same with like Blissey and Chansey. Most of the Blissies I've one shot or got them down to like 1 HP and then they die to the Sandstorm, so they're also just not a problem.
What about like Salamence? Have you fought on many of those yet?
Yeah, I've fought a few. If Tyranitar survived, like if it doesn't use Brick Break on Tyranitar, Rock Slide will one shot it. But my Flygon has outsped every Salamence I've encountered, and with Dragon Claw, it'll one shot the Salamances, so it hasn't really been an issue.
So looking at it, yeah, Salamence, there are only three that's got 299 speed, and you also got 299 speed. So is it 2 out of the 8 or 3 out of the 8 Salamances easily outspeed?
Yeah, it's worked out really well. I feel like I've done quite a few battles, and I feel like I've been relatively lucky with which version of the Pokemon I've encountered, because I feel like I've looked through the spreadsheet just to like try to familiarize myself with like what could possibly happen. And there's some that I'm like, this is just like the world's worst matchup for me. And then they send it out, and I'm like, ah, I'm screwed. And then it uses a move from one of the sets that's just not threatening at all. I'm like, oh, never mind.
Easy. I mean, I guess has there been anything else you really? Or I guess better question would be: so far, what's with this specific team? How high have you gotten in the Battle Dome?
Yeah, so I consistently get to about the seventh tournament. So you go in, it's 4 battles, and then you go back in, it's 4 battles. So I usually get to like the seventh entry, and then in there, if I get unlucky, it's at that point it's kind of like in God's hands, where it's just like, do I get good matchups, and do I hit or do I miss? Do I get flinched? Just kind of there's a lot of luck at that point, which I accepted with this team. It's not the perfect meta team, but I've been able to get to the 10th round a few times. I haven't actually made it to the gold medal fight with Tucker,
You
but
said
I've
you
been
got
very
it was
close.
2 before, right? You're 2
Yeah,
okay. That's so close.
I've been so close. And then that broke my heart a little bit, because
Oh,
once I lost the match, you can look at the what the rest of the tournament bracket would have been. And so I saw what my next matchup would have been. It was like a Mr. Mime, Banette, and Natu. And I was like, I would have been in the
crushed
gold medal
that.
fight if I just killed that Gyarados.
I guess so. You're always leading with Tyranitar with this team? Actually, sorry,
most of the
I
time.
forgot. It's the Battle Dome. It's going to be dependent on. Yeah.
Yeah. I bring Tyranitar more often than the other two. I actually have a little spreadsheet where I've tracked how many times I've brought each Pokemon to battles. So like Tyranitar showed up 231 out of the 300 battles I've been in, and then Cacturne and Flygon are both around 180. So it's almost always Tyranitar and then one of the other two, and then it is just trying to guess at what the Pokemon they're going to send out first is, and hope I can send out the right one first. So Cacturne doesn't, or Tyranitar doesn't always lead, but more often than not, he does.
Well, what you're keeping on the spreadsheet? The amount of times you're using the Pokemon, like in the match, or I guess what else are you tracking?
Yeah, I just have the total battles in the Battle Dome I've done, and then how many times each of the Pokemon have shown up, or I've brought to the battles. So like I've got, all of them have shown up. 231 for Tyranitar, Cacturne, 185, Flygon, 183. I've brought them that many times to battles. And then I also have my best streak in the Battle Dome written down as well.
I've been meaning to do that too. There's so many teams I feel like in like Pokemon I've trained, but it's like how do I know what's good and what has succeeded? Like obviously I've made videos about them, but like I kind of want like an Excel sheet or like a notebook that says like, okay, we took these Pokemon in, we got to like this hive around, just like don't overcomplicate it, but like just these are the three Pokemon, these were their moves, this is how we did, just like some stat. That's kind of cool. You're
Yeah.
doing that.
Yeah, it's nice to keep note of how this team is done, which Pokemon I'm bringing more often than not, which is funny enough. Through the first 150 battles or so, I actually brought Cacturne to almost. I brought Cacturne to every fight, and it was the other two that were like off and on. So like Cacturne I brought to like 147 out of the 150 fights, and then Tyranitar and Flygon were at like 100 each. So it's like Cacturne was there every time, and then now it's Tyranitar. I've learned how to position my team better, and if I can get Tyranitar in a good position, he's just the best Pokemon on the team.
Are you keeping track of like your other teams too, or is this the only one you're keeping track of?
This is the only team I'm keeping track of because it's kind of my only team I've got going right now, because I just kind of wanted to commit to it, stick to it for a while, see if I could, make some small tweaks and see if I could make this work. Because I very briefly made a team for the Battle Tower. I ran through it once, got to like a 27 win streak, and then lost. And I was like, I didn't really like the team that much. It worked fine, but I was like, I just wasn't interested in it. And so I've just kind of leaned into this team for right now. Yeah, I'm impressed at how well it's worked because as I was putting it together, I'm like, there are a lot of troubling matchups on paper. So I didn't expect to see really good results quickly, but I've just been able to make it work, which has been really nice because it's a fun team to use.
So you've already mentioned some things you've already changed on the team. Um, you changed Hyper Beam on Tyranitar to Aerial Ace, swapped out Sandstorm on Flygon for Giga Drain. But is there anything else you're considering about changing for, I guess, any of the Pokemon items, moves?
Yeah, I've thought about potentially changing out Flygon just because he doesn't quite do enough damage sometimes. And if I don't get the flinches, it's kind of like he just doesn't do enough. So I've thought about how I would replace it. And it's hard to find another special attacker that just slots in really well on the team unless I do something that's like a Salamence or like Swampert might actually work, but I just want something. But I don't know. I like the vibe of Flygon. It's just interesting, and so I'm just hoping to make it work. The move sets, it's hard in Gen 3 because there's not a ton of moves that they can learn, as well as like there's not as many TMs as there are in the newer generations. There's a lot more move flexibility going forward. So it's hard trying to find what the best combination of the limited size of move pool you can have.
If I was like, I'm thinking like probably like an easy Pokemon would be Swampert, just because it fits the ground. It got one weakness, and you could get Surf, Ice Beam, things like that, and you're still doing like a whole lot of damage.
Yeah,
But also it's Swampert. Like it's a really good Pokemon already, so I could see the
yeah.
hesitation at least for me. That's what I'd see.
I'm so torn on using Swampert because it's also one of probably my top 5 favorite Pokemon because it
Well,
was
then
the
you
first
gotta.
starter I ever used. But I'm like, I don't want to use a meta team. Like I'm trying to avoid using like the absolute best options because it is fun trying to make the slightly less potential options work at that highest potential. And so
Yeah,
it's
it's fun.
fun trying to make it work.
All right, I'm gonna give you some thoughts about Pokemon that I was considering, and I'm wondering if you also considered them. So one of them is Claydol. You thought about putting that on the team in replace of Flygon?
I think Claydol would be a really cool option. If I didn't care about having a fast Pokemon, Claydol definitely would be one of my next best choices because it can hit so hard. It's so bulky. It has really good type matchups. It's just not the fastest, but Claydol, I like the moves that it brings and the coverage. And it is just a really, like, it's such a weird Pokemon, but it's so cool.
Yeah, I was thinking of like a clay doll with like was like cosmic power. You can make it really beefy, but then you got like the psychic
Yeah,
and earthquake, and I don't know. It just seems like a fun Pokemon that maybe would fit on this team. But again, it's slow and kind of needs something
right.
fast.
I think it would a little bit alter the identity of the team, but I think it would be a really good fit with Tyranitar and Cacturne. I think Claydol is a good option.
Hmm.
I did, after my first couple of runs, I hadn't used Flygon very much, so I didn't learn the best ways to position it and whatnot. So I was like immediately like, I got to replace this. It's not working. And so my first thought was to do Pillow Swine, which is the exact
Pillows.
opposite. Yeah, because I wanted ice moves for dragon
Hmm.
Pokemon.
It could work.
And then I looked at Pillow Swine. I was like, oh, its base special attack is so low.
I
So
gotta
I was
look
like,
this up.
maybe I'll just see if Flygon works. And then I got better at picking and choosing when to send Flygon in. And it's turned out to be a very good member of the team. But originally I thought, I was like, it's just not working. But after hundreds of battles, it's like, oh, no, it's actually, I just was bad.
Yeah, Pillow Swine's special attack is 60, which
Yeah.
is pretty low. Its attack's 100, HP's 100. It's actually that's pretty strong.
Yeah,
Surprisingly.
if I didn't care about a special attacker, I might just because Pillow Swine I really like as a Pokemon. I just think it's a goofy little guy, and so I might just at some point train one up just for fun and see how it works. It would be totally different. I would have to do mostly physical attacks on it, but I do like Pillow Swine, so it's something I've thought.
I think probably an obvious one too maybe would be Metagross. Did you decide to not use that kind of similar reason to Swampert? It's just incredibly not overpowered, but it's a very powerful Pokemon.
Yeah, that's exactly why. Because like funny enough, a lot of my very favorite Pokemon are some of the best in the game. Swampert, Salamence, Metagross. And so I did think about Metagross, and I was like, he would be a great fit on the team. It'd just be perfect. But I was like, I want to avoid using the best in class if I can. But I think Metagross would be a really excellent addition to the team as well.
I think so. But the thing, like, then my thought there is I would want Choice Band on Metagross also because it just does so much damage. But then I feel like you go something like a Quick Claw at that point, or like there's other things you could probably do with the Metagross as opposed to just hitting it with Choice Band. Like, if you're gonna go with the Tyranitar, I guess Wondering what your thoughts would
Yeah.
be. Would you still keep the choice band on Tyranitar if you decided to put Metagross on the team?
Off the top of my head, I think if I put Metagross in, it would be in place of Flygon. I don't know what nature I would go with, but I think I honestly would train a dual type attacker. I would just go full special, full physical,
That'd be
and
awesome.
then yeah, and so I would try to have him just kind of have special attacking coverage and physical attacking coverage and go that way. So at that point,
Quick
he'd be
Claw.
slow. So Quick Claw, maybe the Shell Bell. Shell Bell's just not that
I'm
good.
not a
I
fan.
want it to. I want it to be good, but it's not.
I,
Quick Claw probably.
I do love the idea of just a full hitting Metagross because I mean the Psychic Stab that would do a lot of damage.
Yeah, give him Psychic, Meteor Mash, Shadow Ball, and maybe another set of Earthquake, or maybe there's another physical attack I could give him. But yeah, I guess Shadow Ball is physical in Gen 3, so it'd be a different special type attack.
Yeah, I'm thinking really only Psychic would be the move for what do you call it? The special.
Yeah, Psychic would be the main one.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what moves Metagross can
Oh,
learn.
it can learn
off the
Ice
top of my head.
Punch.
It can learn Ice Punch. Well, then I would give it that too.
Can learn
That's
Icy Wind,
crazy.
but I think Ice Punch is better. Yeah, in the Emerald Tutor, you can learn Ice Punch. That's crazy.
That's crazy.
That's stupid.
Dang, I might just have to train one of those for fun now.
You can get Sludge Bomb too.
Really? I didn't know that.
I'm just looking at I guess I said it real quick. This is what I'm staring at. Brick Break could be an option. I'm thinking probably Psychic, Ice Punch, Meteor Mash, and then probably just Earthquake. You can't really go too wrong with Earthquake.
Yeah. I think those would be the four. I'd like maybe swap out Earthquake with something else just to have.
Or Explosion maybe. Just to
God, that would be gnarly.
I mean, you're not gonna have the choice band, but Quick Claw, Explosion,
Right.
just taking care of something could be good.
Yeah, that would be interesting. I like that idea.
I guess, is there anything else you want to chat about the team? There's probably a lot of other stuff that I do want to talk about, but I got to think about it for a second. We went over so much stuff so quickly.
Yeah, it's just been interesting using the team because the first 3 or 4 runs through the Battle Dome, the Pokemon that I thought were bad matchups weren't actually. I just was positioning my Pokemon wrong. So like using this team, I've really just learned that it's like, oh, I don't actually have too many bad matchups. I just have to be better at when to swap, who to use for what, and just kind of getting into like that analytical side of like, okay, they have these 3 Pokemon. What's my best options here? And actually like improving my battling skill, and the team itself actually works really, really well.
Mm-hmm. Was there any advice or anything you want to tell the viewers about either the Battle Frontier, anything Pokemon related?
I think my only advice really would be to just send it on making a team that you think is cool. Because, like, as we've seen from everybody else on the pod and yourself, it's even if you have suboptimal Pokemon, if you take the time to learn your Pokemon, how they interact with everything else you can encounter, there's a lot of ways of working around bad matchups, and it's a lot easier to find success than I expected. Because I thought that using this team, it was going to be brutal trying to get through. And then as I was going, I was like, oh no, as I learned more, everything got so much easier. So it's totally worth doing creative off the wall teams because the hidden potential usually is actually incredibly high for every team. And it's just once you learn how they interact with everything else, it makes everything else so much easier.
There's some good words because like right now, like when I was building like a similar team based on your and some other people's recommendations, like I'm just looking at all of the things in the frontier that could just destroy it. But like in reality, you're not facing those things every single time. Like they will probably come up, but that shouldn't prevent somebody from designing a team and trying to find like workarounds for certain situations. Because like you're not going to see it every single fight. It'll come up, but it shouldn't prevent you from
Right.
making the team.
And there's always going to be bad matchups for every team, but usually every team has ways around those bad matchups. It's just you have to learn how to position your Pokemon. Like so often, I'll try to lead with a Tyranitar, and it'll send out like a Tauros, and it has Intimidate, and it's like, now I can't one shot it, and so it's like I have to swap. And then it's like, oh, is it worth swapping back, or is it going to
Uh-huh.
use a move that'll kill my Tyranitar if I swap it back in? So it's learning the positioning and when to attack, when to swap. That's honestly the most important part, because like once you have a team, there's always a route through every fight. It's just being able to find the route through the fight.
That's a good point. Do you have any, I guess, questions for me? Could be really about anything, but Pokemon, YouTube.
Yeah, gosh, I know that I have some, but it's so hard to think off the top of my head.
We could get back to it a little bit too.
Yeah, it's I know you're working on your version of a sand team, but do you have other ideas in the pipeline, or do you kind of work one idea at a time?
I have too many ideas, and I don't really know like this idea. I don't remember how long ago you mentioned it, but or like somebody mentioned it, but I was like, I want to do this, and then like whatever, like a week or two ago when I started training the team, I was like, we just have to sit down and do this, or I'm never gonna do it. But I mean, I have let's see, I have some team. I mean, I have a lot of Pokemon that I obviously want to train, but as for like specific whole design teams, obviously this one. I would actually put this on the list today. I want like a sunny day team, so something with Vileplume, and I want to use my shiny Charizard. Just kind of abuse the sunny day and just yeah, cripple water types. I think that'd be kind of fun.
I love that idea. Ever since I mentioned using Sunny Day for your special attack Aggron, I've thought about building a team in that same vein where it's like I would do a special attack Aggron,
Hmm.
have Sunny Day, and then I want to use like Tropius because it has the chlorophyll ability. You can learn Sunny Day, make it kind of
And
like
Leech Seed
how
too.
yeah, it'll be just like my Cacturne on this sand team, but for a sun team.
Hmm.
And it's like I think that weather teams are just really interesting.
It's fun. On that sunny day team, I was thinking like Vileplume or Charizard sets it up, but then you got like yeah, like the Solar Beam or something Vileplume. But then I was thinking again, like what you said, just maybe just throw the Aggron in there. Like this is the substitute Aggron's time to shine is when water is not a problem.
Exactly.
So that was maybe an idea. There I'm trying to get a Butterfree, a shiny. I was thinking about getting a shiny Butterfree because it's a beautiful shiny. It's not really good in the Battlefront here, but
Right.
I like the idea of having this Butterfree with like it acts as like Mothra. So we got Butterfree got Compound Eye, so it boosts things like Sleep Powder and other things like that. But like essentially, you have a Butterfree that sets up for Tyranitar Tar and or Aggron. So
Oh, that'd be so
it's
cool.
like the theme of like Godzilla. It's
I
probably not
love
good,
that.
but it's cool. But it has to be the shiny Butterfree. 'Cause that's what makes it like over the top.
That would be so cool. I ended up getting a shiny Aeron, like 6 or 7 months ago,
Oh
and I've just
man,
been waiting because 'cause I'm like, I don't know what build I wanna do for it, so it's just been sitting in my box. I'm like, how do I wanna train this? Because I want to have a team with the shiny Aggron, but I also kinda wanna do a full shiny team, and it's my only shiny on Emerald right now, so it's like I'd have to get another one first, or I guess another 2 first.
did you just was that a random encounter?
Uh, sort of. I went to Granite Cave in Dewford, and you can have a Pokemon with Magnet Pull as the first Pokemon in your
That's
party,
so
and
smart.
it makes Steel type Pokemon more common encounters. So I used that with the White Flute to make encounters happen faster, and I'd set up a repel trick. So I had a Nose Pass in the front of my party with Magnet Pull, and then a Talo as my second Pokemon, so it was faster than Aeron's, so I could run away from battles easier. And then I just hopped in place with the Acro Bike, and I was expecting it to take me a couple of months of encounters, and like an hour and a half in, it was like,
What?
yeah, I had 54 encounters, and then I got it.
Oh my gosh.
It was insane. And so yeah, I'm just like, now I want to get more shinies so I can do a shiny team because Aggron's my favorite Pokemon, and I want to build around it.
Dude, that's awesome. You got it that fast, but man, you gave me such a good idea. Is I kind of wanted to hunt the Aggron too, or the Aron, but like the Magnet Pull makes it so good.
Yeah, because it basically on any of the bottom floors, it makes it so Aeron are like they show up like 75 or 80% of the encounters. And so it was just really fast going through it. And I didn't expect to get it after 50 encounters. That was insane.
Yo, congrats, man. Are you, or I guess, how's the nature? Did you check the IVs?
You know, I didn't. I
You
think
gotta let
I
me
don't have a
know.
picture. Yeah, I will. I'll have to look at that.
I mean, from the Agrons I've used, special attack is probably not the way to go, but it is really cool. But that substitute focus punch one was so cool, and it just hit like a truck.
That is such a
But
cool idea.
I don't know. It's such a tough decision because once you train it, like I mean, obviously you can use the berries and stuff like that, but like once you kind of train it, it's like you got to pick. This is trained to do something specific, and you got to do a lot to
Right.
kind of go back. So it's like, what do you do with it? But until you decide, then you just keep it in its nice
Yeah,
form.
I have been tempted to use the Battle Tower cloning glitch to get a bunch of different shiny Aerons so I could train them in different ways. I've thought about that. Haven't done it because I'm so like hit or miss on using glitches because it's like I don't want to, but some of them it's like some of them are fun. So it's like maybe I could have a couple of shiny Agrons, but
I guess it
I
comes
like
down to
the
what you
idea,
want. So
right? But yeah, I'd like to get a couple more shinies so I could make a shiny team with him. So that's the hard part is finding them.
so Aggron, is that your favorite shiny? Sorry, your favorite Pokemon?
Yeah, Aggron is my favorite Pokemon.
What's the next couple Pokemon are your favorite?
I think it is in order Aggron, Swampert, Metagross, Tyranitar, Steelix, Nidoking. I really love Rayquaza and Groudon. I think Registeel's really cool. Honestly, it's like mostly Steel and Rock Pokemon. After that, I really love Steel type. I just always have.
I love how like your top Pokemon are essentially just mine. Just the horn dinosaur looking steel types.
Yeah, just these absolute behemoths. They're so cool.
So I guess, what are some of your other favorite shiny Pokemon? Like if you had to build a shiny team, are you gonna
Oh,
just like, so you got your Aggron, but I guess, are you gonna pick Pokemon that are good shiny, or are you gonna pick your other favorite shiny Pokemon and try to build a team with that around Aggron?
oh, favorite shinies. I really think Weezing shiny is super
Mm-hmm.
cool. Metagross's shiny is awesome. Charizard shiny is so cool. Um, oh man, I hadn't thought about that because I honestly was just kind of gonna go and just like shiny hunt in random areas and just eventually see what I get. I kind of want to get a shiny Manectric and a shiny Machamp because those were my first two ever shinies were a shiny Machop and a shiny Electrike. So I think that would be interesting to do. I think it would be a bad team, but I think it'd be fun.
I guess, you don't have those anymore, or what happened?
They were on my old save files, and I just never traded them out. And
Oh,
I used to just I'd get bored of my save files after like a year or so, so I would just restart all the time.
it happens. Shiny Manectric is so cool. It's like a bumblebee.
Yeah, I kind of want to get a shiny Gyarados, or not Gyarados, shiny Gardevoir, because Gardevoir was my brother's favorite Pokemon, and so I would like to do that because I have his old Emerald cartridge now, and I just think it would be fun to have, one of his Pokemon on my team,
That'd be
like
pretty
his
cool.
favorite. Yeah,
One of your favorite, one of his.
yeah, I think that would be really cool.
I got a new question. I'm gonna try to ask everybody moving forward. But what is a Pokemon? If you could pick one Pokemon you could have in real life, like it is real, what would it be?
Oh, I've thought about this so much, and I don't know if I have an actual answer. I think it would have to be something that could fly, because I just think that would be so cool to ride your Pokemon as it's flying around. I live in Denver, right by the mountains, so it'd be fun to just like go fly into the mountains, go camping like that. I think it would be cool. So like maybe like a Charizard, probably. I don't know. I love Aggron so much that I might just want to have one because I just think it's so freaking cool.
Yeah, I was thinking the same thing. Like I know Tyranitar and Aggron are absolute menaces, but like that'd be so cool. Even like
So
Steelix,
cool.
like it's not practical, but it'd be cool.
God, Steelix would be another really cool one because it's like, according to the game lore, they're like super huge. They're like 30, 40 feet
Yeah.
or long or something like that. They're just giant.
What do you do with it? Just leave it outside, like.
Just here, hang out in the backyard while I go to work, I guess. Oh yeah, I don't. That's such a tough question because there's so many good answers.
Mm-hmm. Probably like I'm thinking like a shiny Umbreon would realistically be like the normal pet to probably have.
Oh yeah,
like one of like a cat Pokemon, something like that, like a dog.
yeah. I think shiny Eevee. I just like the silver color of it. Would be really cool, and it would be a nice house pet. Oh yeah, there's a lot of good options. I mean, heck, a shiny Mudkip. I think having a Axolotl would be really cool. I think axolotls are just goofy little guys.
I don't even think I know what that is. How do you spell it? Axel.
Oh, I don't know if I know how to actually spell it. Axola.
Oh, I got it. Oh, wait. Whooper?
Yeah, Whooper is an axolotl, and Mudkip kind
Oh,
of
yeah,
sort of is.
I see it. Yeah, when I typed that in, they both came up. Mudkip is so cute.
Mudkip's so cute, and I love shiny Mudkip, like the pinkish purple. It's such a good color.
I guess. Do you have any other questions for me?
You know, I don't think so. Yeah, I'm happy I was able to share this team with everybody. I think it's a cool team.
Dude, this team is sick. This team, like, I'm obviously enjoying our conversation, but I can't wait to like wrap the call up so I go play Pokemon and train this team. Like,
right.
Like, I'm obviously not rushing. I'm just I'm excited because the team is just so cool and at least it gets me motivated to like play this game.
Right. I have my Game Boy sitting right here, so I'm just like, as soon as it's over, I'm probably gonna keep running through the battle frontier.
I guess what's in store for you next in Pokemon? Is it to get the gold with this team, or are you training some other stuff on the side? What do we got going on?
Yeah, I think I'd like to get the gold on this team. I mean, I got 2 fights away, so it's definitely possible. Like, I have seen the end of the tunnel. Even though I didn't get there, I know that I can get there with the team. So I want to do that, and then I might try to run this same team through the battle tower just to see. But I might end up training new teams. I don't know. I've been so focused on this team that right now that's kind of all that I'm looking forward to.
Do you have I guess any gold symbols yet? In any
No, I just have the silver symbol for the dome, and that is the only one that I've really tried.
So I guess once you get the gold, is that when you may branch out? I mean, you mentioned like a minute ago you may try this team in the battle tower, but I'm like, are you I guess avoiding the other facilities until you tackle the dome?
Yeah, I think the dome is the most interesting to me because there is so much strategy in
I
it,
love it.
and I love that aspect of it. I think I'd like to do the battle tower just because it's like the quintessential challenge in Pokemon games. And then I really enjoy the battle factory because I think it's nice not having to train your own Pokemon. It makes things so much easier, and it's really fun using all the different Pokemon, and it's a really good way of finding ideas
It
for
is.
ways to build a team or Pokemon to build around and whatnot. So I really like that. The other places I'm not super interested in, but things may change. I remember when I was little, I really liked playing the Battle Pike, so maybe I'll get into that one again at some point.
The battle bike was surprisingly really fun for me, and I mean, it's got like the serpent kind of vibe, so that was also like more fitting for me at least.
Yeah, and it's like it and the Battle Pyramid are like a whole Pokemon adventure just contained in one little building.
Hmm. Yeah, for the factory, like I've found so many cool builds just by using Pokemon that I would never have thought about, or using like moves on Pokemon that just I've never considered. But it's such a good way to learn different
Yeah,
side of
like
the game.
the Plume of Doom.
That thing is crazy. I still can't believe that. It's
Oh,
so much damage. So
that
I
was
guess
incredible.
for real quick on a live stream we did like a little while ago, this Vileplume had max EVs and speed, sorry, in special attack and attack, and it had like Sludge Bomb and Giga Drain. This thing would one shot like everything. It was pretty ridiculous, but that got me kind of hyped to maybe build a similar Vileplume.
Yeah, I remember watching that and I was like, ah, there's no way this Plume wins this matchup. And then you'd attack and it would one shot whatever you were fighting. I was like,
Insane.
how the heck did that happen?
I was surprised too. It was able to take a hit, but it was also able to give it like an even bigger hit. It was weird.
Yeah, that was super cool. I loved that.
So if anybody wants to reach out to you, I guess, and talk about this team, or maybe ask you some questions, is there like a good place to do so? Or
Oh gosh. The only place I ever really interact is like in your YouTube comments. I was just gonna say I just try to respond to anybody who responds to me because I'm happy to talk about, the team or just honestly just general Pokemon knowledge. I have a lot of random knowledge stored in my head. So I'm happy to share that information with anybody who wants it or could use it.
so if anybody I guess wants to reach out to Zach, I'll pin a comment. If you post a comment on the video, and I'll always pin that. So if you guys want to go down to the description and ask any questions about the team. The
Yeah.
team's awesome. So some people got to have some good questions about this.
Yeah, and I'm open to any suggestions for tweaks to the team. I'm happy to talk about any part of it, or it doesn't even have to be related to the team. I just like talking about these Gen 3 games because they're what I grew up playing, and they're what I like to play still.
I think a real quick, not to go too far in like a rabbit hole, but about that point, it's like these games are old, but like there's so much depth to it, and it's fun and enjoyable to see everybody else like geek out at such like a deep level about these games, where it's just like I don't know how to explain it. It's just like it's a fun feeling.
Yeah, I love the community that you've cultivated on YouTube is incredible because nobody is doing just like meta teams. Everybody's like, I've got this crazy off the wall idea and I'm doing this. And it's like, that's the coolest thing I've ever heard. I never would have thought to pair those things together. Like Riley, who had it was the
Zang,
Ninjas, Zangoose. Was it a Ninjask?
Ninja,
Shed Ninja, because it was Moki had the
yeah.
Ninjask and the Heracross. And yeah, there's just so many cool combinations. It's so cool to see how everybody else is just like, yeah, I'm trying these really off the wall things. It's just refreshing to see. Because when I first tried to get into doing the Battle Frontier, everything I found was like, use Metagross Swampert Latios with these moves, this training. And I'm like, that's just boring.
Yeah, it like kills it kills
takes
like
the fun out of it.
At least for me, yeah, it did. I was like, there's got to be more people out there who like are just like, I like this Pokemon, and I'm gonna like go Oonga Boonga mode and try and make it work. So if you're out there,
Right.
definitely email me. I want to talk to you. Like just some people that using just like one of the weirdest not weird, but like just not a Pokemon that you would think would do very well on the frontier. But if you got a team around it and you got some weird strategy, it's cool to talk about.
Yeah, it makes the game more fun, and it makes hearing about it so much more interesting.
I think like one thing too is like I think someone brought it up, like every Pokemon, or what is it? Every Pokemon is like favored by another person. Wait, why can't I think of the sentence?
Every Pokemon is somebody's favorite Pokemon.
I don't know why I couldn't go with those words, but yeah, I was thinking about that. Like even like Riley, I think his second favorite Pokemon was Abra. Like I'm not to hate Abra. I've never thought about Abra in my life, like outside of like Alakazam. Like I would never have pictured that being somebody's favorite, but it's Riley's second favorite. So it's like just a different world. I don't like we're all living these different Pokemon worlds, and mine just revolves around like Tyranitar, Aggron, and Steelix, and other people got the other things going on. But I want to hear your team and your worlds that you want to make.
Yeah, it's fun to see everybody else's journey and how they're trying to go through things, getting just new perspectives.
Yeah, absolutely. Guess before we wrap up, you got anything else about the team, me, the viewers, you?
Not that I can think of. I really appreciate you having me on. This has been really fun to talk about, and I'm just happy to have found your YouTube channel, because every time there's an upload, I'm immediately like, I got notifications on and everything, because it's just every video, every live stream is just so entertaining. It's just a good vibe, and it's been wonderful.
I really appreciate supporting the channel. But yeah, anyway though, if we got nothing else, this was a great conversation. This is such a cool team design, and the fact that you got that far with it too just shows like your dedication to it. I'm really hoping that at least the things I've learned in this podcast, and like the things that you've said and other people have said it with the Sandstorm team, I'm hoping to have some good success with it too. So I'm hoping I do good. But yeah, great conversation.
Yeah, awesome. I'm expecting good things.
Thanks again. We'll be chatting in the comments and everything. Yeah, thanks everybody for listening. If you enjoyed, let us know down in the comments. Be sure to tell Zach how cool his team is. But if you got any questions, again, he'll be down there.
Yep, happy to talk about it.
All right, thank you. Take care, everybody. If you're looking to join the podcast, I think the best way to do this is I'm going to leave a link to a Google group in the description. That is essentially like an email newsletter kind of thing, but you can see the previous history of all the, I guess, emails I've sent to other people. In one of the emails, it'll be titled like Gen 3 Trainer Loadout Podcast. Go to that email. In there, there'll be like instructions as well as a PDF of kind of my expectations for myself and you, and kind of what I need from you to like facilitate the podcast. We'll probably do everything like over email just because it's a lot easier for me to track. But essentially, go to the Google group, check out the form, and follow the instructions, and we'll go from there. Anyway, though, thank you. Take care.